So, I hear you can't sleep. Today, I'd like to talk to you about sleeping deep, which is a piece of the reward puzzle, and just a reminder and of the hidden link between sleepless nights, stress, procrastination, resentment, and rest. So, sleep is just like another whole food group. You see, we often link nutrition and movement to being healthy, but all the goodness we do in the day can just be unraveled completely if we don't get a good night's sleep. A good night's sleep, generally, as we know, is anything between 6.5, 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And just 30 minutes less can impair our focus the next day, our thoughts. It can impair our stress levels. It can also promote weight gain in some instances. So today, let's talk about sleep. So why are we tossing and turning at night? What are those things that are keeping us awake? Why does our to-do list come awake the second you put your head on the pillow, or when you wake up at 3 a.m., it's alive and it's all you can think about? It could also be comparison. You know, the things that happen in our day, that we compare ourselves to others. We compare our children to other people's children. How about our joy in the workplace? Relationship stress could also be a factor. Busy toddlers all day, frayed nerves, those kind of things. Those are all things that come alive at 3 a.m. in the morning. The other thing that happens at night, especially, is our brain has a natural proclivity to being negatively biased. So what happens at night, the stories that we're telling ourselves or the thoughts we have, they become mountains. And when we wake up in the morning, all of a sudden they just vanish. Now let's also, that anchor in the room, that anchor that we could be pulling around on the seabed, that anchor of anger and resentment, oftentimes at night seems worse. And it definitely keeps us awake. So what are some of the tools that we can use to banish it? We can douse that thing that we believe was done to us by acceptance. And that beautiful gift of acceptance, let me explain that. That doesn't mean that what was done was okay. All it means is that you let it go for that moment. And you're gifting yourself that peaceful night's sleep so that you can once again tomorrow wake up with renewed energy and vigor and tackle that situation with a whole new set of pointers that don't get unraveled at night. They only become to light in the mornings when we wake up. So I would like you to invite sleep. How do you invite sleep into your life? What I do each morning, and I know this may sound silly to a lot of you, is I wake up, I give my pillows a hug, and I say thank you for this wonderful night's rest. Even if it was a stressful night, I remind myself that my bed is a place of sanctuary. And then another thing that I weave through my day is movement and light. So even in the darkest of winters, getting outdoors and breathing deeply, not for long periods of time, for 5 or 10 minutes, walk around the block, or walk around your home, or run up and down the stairs at home, or just do some stretches maybe on your lounge floor, or even behind your desk at the office. But the light that we allow into our lives, and also the little bit of elevated heart rate. And I say little bit because it doesn't have to be an hour-long workout each day. It just needs to be a bit of light during threaded and weaved into your day. And also those tasks that we leave unfinished, and let's be honest, all of us do these things, they become mammoth as each hour, each day passes by. So why not just have a piece of paper next to your bed and just jot them down before you go to sleep? assure yourself they will be there tomorrow and you're going to tackle them tomorrow. Now, just thinking again about our negativity bias. Our negativity bias is always there. And I've practiced this, and it's taken me a while to immediately flow into this behavior pattern because our negativity bias has been there since we were born. So the moment I start thinking and I arrest it and I'm aware of it at night, a negative thought, preferably before it becomes a whole big story, I just acknowledge the thought, say thanks for being there, but I'm going to choose to think about something else. And in my case, it could be that morning when I walked with Shanky, we walked past a lawn that was being mowed and the smell of freshly cut grass. It could be um, a butternut pie that I'd just baked and taken out of the oven. It could be the joy of my grandchildren running up and down the house and giggling with laughter. It could be the great time that I'd had with colleagues or the last business meeting that I'd really enjoyed. So we're only going to think about in that instance those moments that have given us pleasure. I know this sounds crazy, but this is how diverse some of my moments are. And I have a pretty, it's not a brand new car, it's at least 10 years old. But I often, when I walk past my car, I just touch it and say, thank you very much for keeping me safe and our whole family safe. And a thought like that brings me so much joy because it's not just the gratitude, but it's just the connection that I want to have with the universe. So bringing those thoughts into our nights when we catch ourselves overthinking, it's way better than trying to count sheep, and it works so much quicker. So that anchor, what is that anchor that you're dragging into your bed at night that's going to wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why don't you just acknowledge it, gift it with acceptance, and get a good night's sleep? Because you see, we all know that we often go to bed if we're not feeling well and think, I hope I'm going to feel much better tomorrow morning. And why is that thought there? That tomorrow's a new day, tomorrow we're going to be healed. Because those little soldiers, this is what I tell my grandchildren, the little soldiers in their body, if they stub their toe, or they get a splinter, or they get a bee sting, those little soldiers in our bodies, our immune system, that it works at its best when we're resting and we're sleeping. So isn't that one of the best reasons, the whys that you hold on to as to why tonight is going to be your best night's rest ever? If you'd like to find out more about resting and sleeping deeply and well, please take a look at the reward puzzle. You'll be pleasantly surprised.